my baby, no mistaking. Boom.
Goes my heart just breaking.
Girl, that was so cringe.
Okay, so today let's talk about why cringe makes us cringe. But before we start, let me rant a bit and use this video as my therapy session, because therapy is very expensive these days. When I started posting on YouTube, I wasn't just worried about being bad. I was scared of being cringe. What if people laughed? What if they don't take me seriously? What if my crush sees my videos and thinks I'm cringe? So, you know me, I did what any normal person would do. I started researching what being cringe even means. Cringe is basically the feeling you get when your dad starts dabbing in public. It's kind of embarrassing. Cringe happens when someone breaks those unspoken rules, aka societal norms. Be cool. Don't be too different. And oh, never try too hard. Most of the time, what we label as cringe is just someone trying. Maybe trying too hard, but still trying. When we talk about cringe culture, we can't not talk about social norms and rules. All those unwritten rules that must be followed. Breaking them can sometimes feel like failing an invisible test. But some of those rules are actually different depending on the culture. For example, if you go to France, randomly singing in the street could be seen as cringe. But if you go to the Philippines, you can even see people singing inside the mall. And I guess that's why Filipinos are amazing singers. And well, I remember going to the convenience store once. When the cashier guy saw me, he started singing, "I said I would never fall in love again, until I found her." At first I was kind of like, "Excuse me, sir, are you trying to get my number?" But then I thought, well, it's actually kind of funny how Filipinos don't care compared to French people. Because in France, that would have been called, well, cringe. In the Philippines, that was just a random guy finding a girl cute and just singing what goes through his mind. And I found that kind of cute, even though I didn't end up giving him my number, because I was already with someone at that time. Anyway. So social norms are a bit subjective. This is why I would say that most of the time when we call someone cringe, we're actually saying, you don't fit into my own perspective of acceptable behavior. And because you don't fit into it, you're embarrassing yourself. The problem is that the line between social norms that help us all coexist and the ones that make us feel trapped is actually very thin. Because yes, rules like not yelling in a library make sense. They make shared spaces bearable. So please don't scream at the library and let people study in peace. But when we look at other norms like not dressing weird or not dabbing, well, it doesn't seem like that serves a higher purpose except keeping everyone in their comfort zone. Some rules exist to maintain this illusion of normalcy, and if you break them, you're immediately labeled as cringy or too much. The worst part is that these social norms can pressure people into suppressing parts of themselves. It's like there's this unspoken fear of standing out, as if being different will automatically make you embarrassing or cringe. Of course, like I kind of introduced earlier, not all norms are bad. For example, we need traffic lights. Otherwise, it would be chaotic. But we've also seen through history that some of these norms can keep people marginalized. Like, excuse me, but I still can't believe that we used to think that women wearing pants was almost a sin. I love my pants.
Guess you should have stayed home in the kitchen, eh?
What is wrong with you?
Go home and bake cookies.
Those rules, aka societal norms, about what men and women could or couldn't do, weren't about safety or fairness. They maintained power structures. These judgments didn't protect society, they held it back. The same goes for queer people. It's not just about being judged, it's about being rejected, and sometimes even worse. And that's why drag is so important. It's not just about dressing up, it's about resistance. There's a whole history of activism behind it. Drag has given marginalized people a way to take back their power by creating spaces for self-expression and challenging norms. Actually, something I find interesting is how the word queer actually means weird or strange, and was used as an insult for years. But over time, queer people reclaimed it, turning it into something powerful. Now it's not just a word, it's a whole identity. It's like saying, yeah, I know you think I'm different, and I'm okay with that. And just like the term queer was used as an insult, we can also see this in art history with the term Impressionism. One of the most celebrated art movements in history was also used as an insult. Claude Monet's painting Impression Sunrise used to be mocked as just that, an impression, like a very bad triad painting, something incomplete, unfinished, mediocre, not real art. But what started as an insult became the Impressionism movement that we all know today. So sometimes being different is actually kind of iconic, which reminds me of what this amazing woman once said.
I went, should I do this? Should I do this? The hell with it, do it. You can always look back and go, shit, I shouldn't have done that.
I think it was a month ago, I posted on Insta a story of me saying that my only 2025 New Year's resolution was to have the courage to be myself. And a friend of mine quickly replied, authenticity is the highest vibration. And I already kind of talked about our egos and our social masks and how social media is destroying us. But if we link this to cringe culture, this desire for authenticity isn't just an anti-cringe movement. You know, I think that we could say that authenticity is a human desire. Even if most of us wear masks, it's not that we don't want to be authentic. It's that we're actually scared of being authentic and then rejected by society and the people we care about. Or that crush we want to impress. And that's literally why I left the corporate world. No, not because of my crush. But because I'm very self-aware, and honestly, it has caused me anxiety most of my life. Like, don't say this, don't act like this, say this, act like this. It was exhausting. Of course, self-awareness is important because we do live in a society after all. Like, you're not gonna go to work naked.
You think?
Unless you're trying to get fired, then please go ahead. Just kidding, please don't do that. So, I'm gonna repeat myself again. Yes, self-awareness is important, but overthinking and overjudgment is also a trap because it can cause more anxiety than improvement. I believe that judgment is important when it's constructive, compassionate, and, well, understanding. So if I had to give one advice, I would say be yourself, follow your heart, as long as you're not harming anyone. Life is too short to be worrying about whether doing something or saying something is cringe. So go ahead, be yourself, be weird, be cringe. The rest of us are just pretending not to be. And honestly, I believe that by being yourself, by letting go of that fear of being cringe, you're also helping others slowly free themselves.
Bro.
If you liked this video, you might like my other videos. You can also follow me on Instagram and subscribe to support my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye!